Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening. How are yous? Are you all ready? Hi, Kerry. Hi, Judy. Hi, Lindy. How are yous? I'll just wait a few minutes before we start, and I'll start giving you some measurements and things so we can start next week. Oh, my goodness. It's so windy today, and my hay fever is playing up. So if I sneeze, I'm sorry. My eyes are itchy. Itchy, itchy. So you ready to play along? I hope so. I've been asked to do this a few times, so I hope the people that asked are going to play along. Hey, Sarah. How are you? It's all good, Leah. Leah can't make it tonight because Leah's laptop died in Casey's live last night, so we're going to reschedule her flip through, unfortunately. Hi, Lindy. You are here. Yay. Thanks for coming, Sarah, and everybody else. So when you get your laptop fixed, Leah will reschedule. It's all good. I'll just have to wait to see the beautiful journal that she made. What a shame. So I'm going to start in a few minutes with the stuff that I'm using. I know that everybody has different supplies and different things, but I'm going to give you the basic measurements of what I'm going to make. So if you want to make along, you can. And a few of the things that I'm going to use. And you're quite happy and welcome to use whatever you want to use if you're going to make along. Hi, Judy. So excuse my voice and my nose and my eyes are running because the wind is just absolutely crazy. We've got a cyclone forming up north of us at the moment, and it's pushing these horrible winds and high tides, and my eyes are itchy. Had antihistamine, but it's not doing anything. So is everybody going to play along with this? I hope so. Is this not too bright? Let me turn this off. Is this... No, that's no good. Let's turn this one off. Is that better? That's better. That's better. All right, so you got your pens and papers ready for some measurements. Hello, hello. So first thing you're going to need, and I'm not going to put this together, I'm just giving you measurements today. We're going to start the actual putting together so you can prep your pages and be ready for next week and all that stuff. How are you, Beth? Just having a drink of water. All right, so I will also, where will I put this? I'll try and remember to put the measurements to this in the more box down below after I've finished here. So if anybody misses it, they've got the measurements. So first thing you're going to need is 2 sheets of, I've used 2 sheets of 12 by 12 chipboard, but you can use packaging. You need something quite sturdy. You can use book covers cut down, whatever you want to use. And you're going to need 2 pieces at 8 3/4 by 7. So they're your main cover pieces. You're going to need 2 spine pieces that are 8 3/4. One is 8 3/4 by 3, and the other one is 8 3/4 by 2 7/8. So just shy of the 3. So just a little bit smaller, which allows for the fold over. So that's your covers and your 2 spines. Okay. Where is the other one? You are also going to need a piece, which I haven't cut yet, because that was done. Oh. Hold on. Wait a minute. You're going to need another piece that is 8 3/4 by, how big is this one? This is, let's go 4. I'm going to cut that one down. 8 3/4 by 4. For goodness sake, I hate these friggin' things. They're a pain in the butt. 3/4 by 4. Try that down. 8 3/4 by 4. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of chipboard. That gives you your back, 1 spine, 2 spines, your top, and a fold over piece. So it will look like this. It will look like this. Okay, this is our cover. So you've got top piece, spine, bottom piece, spine, and your flappy over, foldy over piece, which will put some sort of locking mechanism on. I'm going to use one of these treasure box holder tabby, what do you call it? Latches. That's what I'm going to use to hold mine together, which will go on here somehow. We'll figure that out. You can use ribbon, you can use magnets, you can use swing tab, whatever you want to use, doesn't really matter. That's what I'm using. So that's our base. I'll put the measurements below. You will need some cardstock to make our solid pages. We're also going to put 2 signatures in this as well as the flippy flappy hard pages. Hi Zenjan. Hello, hello. Thanks for popping in anyway. That's awesome. So I'm using mushroom because that goes with my kit. So you find a coordinating coloured cardstock, white, black, tan, whatever you want to do, which will go with your journal. And you probably need about anywhere between 15 and 20 to make the pages and the flips and flaps that go on top, pockets and things. So you probably need about 20 pages of that. And you are going to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 pieces. So you're going to have 4 main pages, 8 pieces that measure 9 by 6.5. Then you're going to score at one end at 1/2 inch. So you get these 2 pieces like this. So 6.5 by 9, scored at 1/2 inch. We're going to put those together, glue them together, which we'll do next week, and they will form the main pages of our book, which will go on to the binding system, and you'll also have a pocket to put big tab folders in. So they are main pages, and you're going to need 4 of those. So you're going to cut 8 of these 6.5 by 9. It's our pages. This is our tab binding system that will hold these pages, and that is 8.5 by 8. 8.5 by 8. And you're going to score that at 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, and then 8. You're going to cut it off. And these make our binding system. So they fold like this, like this, like this. Uh-oh, I've done something wrong. 6.5. Going to have to cut this again. Ignore that. I need to add another fold, another 2. So it'd be 6.5, 7, 7.5, and then cut at 9. That was dumb because we want 4 pages. Lucky I'm going to write all this down, and I'm a professional. It's actually really easy, Judy. I will show you step by step how to do this. It's really easy. I'm going to cut another piece. So that's actually going to be 9 inches. 9 inches by 8.5. 9. It's definitely not complicated. Oh, what's going on here? Goodness. Sound come on all of a sudden. No, it's not complicated. I'm telling you, it looks complicated, but it's really easy. And I'll take you through this piece right now, step by step, so you can make it yourself. So let's cut that piece. Just get rid of all this out of the way. Let's make the binding together right now so you can see how to make it. This cardstock. And you're going to cut it at 9 inches. 9. By, what did I say? 8.5. 9.5. Oh, dumbass. Seriously. Take 1 antihistamine and I'm away with the fairies. Going to be 9.5. That's not right. It's going to be 9. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm doing. It's going to be 9 by 8.5. That's 9 by 8. 9 by 8. Oh, man. 9 by 8. Cut your pages. 9 by 8. Oh, I should go back to bed. I'm making it complicated for you, okay? You're going to grab your scoreboard, and on the 9-inch side, with the 9 inches across the top, you're going to score at 1.5, 2, 2.5, 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 7, and 7.5. Okay, so you've got all of those score lines. The first bit is the flap that you're going to glue to your page on one side. Then you're going to leave a gap, which will be the gusset, so you've got room to put I think it was a taxi, Lindy, because I sound drunk. Antihistamine, woo! A gusset, so you've got room to build flaps and things that we're going to put in here. The next one is the peak of your binding system, so you're going to fold it down. And that is the first binding, right? And your page, which is these two pieces glued together, right, to form the page. When they're glued together, that slips over that binding system. It's glued together, slips over the binding system, and that makes your page. Okay, it will all become very clear as we make it together next week. We're just giving you measurements tonight. So then you're going to leave a gusset, and then you're going to fold your next page holder tab like so. These get glued. I'll do it on the old one. Where's the old one that I threw away? Oh. So you glue these two together. Okay. When it sits up, that holds your page. All right. And you leave a gusset, and you glue your next page together, your next tab together. Words are hard. Goodness. Okay, so there's your second page holder. Then you're going to have a gusset, which is one of those 1/2-inch scores, and then you're going to score to glue your next tabs together. Okay. And then, because I measured it wrong, we're going to actually have another one, but this gives you the idea of what it will look like. And when you put it in your book, you glue the whole lot, the whole back of that, and that sits in. Just put that bit down. We'll make it the same size. It will be the same size as the spine, but you will glue that down with the flaps on either side. And that's where your pages will go, and they will be in that flap at the start. Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? When we make it together, I'm sure it will all, you can ask me questions as we go, but that is how the binding system works. So that will be 4 pages in our book. And on top of those pages, we will build flaps and flips and flaps and tucks and all sorts of things. It will be, I promise, I promise, I promise. I will get, hang on, wait for it. So in this book, let me just move my water out of the way. See, this is the binding system. I've done 1 on either side instead of 4, but we're going to have 4 on one side because this is not a lap book. But this is 1 page, and on top of that 1 page, we have added flips and flaps and pockets and all sorts of things to make it bulky. So you end up with all of this real estate to write on and put things in, and this is the pocket in the middle. So one side of the opening glues to that binding system, and the other one stays open as a pocket to put big writing board inside. Okay, is that a bit clearer how it works? I hope so. Hi, Brenda. So that's how the binding system works. Okay. Okay. All right, so we've got the measurements for our pages, and as I said, this is your page. You've got 2 pieces, 6.5 by 9, scored at 1/2 inch on one end. You're going to add glue to the outside of that tab. And you're going to glue the piece, the other piece that doesn't have the tab facing down, on top of that. Okay. Flip it over and add glue to the other outside of the tab. This is just a rough, just to give you an idea. And you're going to glue that down. Okay, so that gives you a page which we call sleeve. It looks like this. This is our binding system. That sleeve slips over the top of this. You need to chop those back. Miter those edges. That slips on there like so, and glues. Let's just glue, add some glue. Flips over the top. Don't go all the way to the bottom. You want to leave about 1/8 of an inch gap so that our page can turn. So this is how that works, and you've got room for a pocket here. You've got your page on your tab, and this glues into the spine. Okay. Does that make a bit more sense now? You see how it works? I hope so. It really, really is easy. Does anybody have any questions on that so far? Happy to answer them. I'm sure you've got lots of questions. I will go through this really slowly with you next week, this step by step. What I'm just doing is getting you the measurements so you can have these things cut ready to go, so I don't waste too much of your time. What kit am I doing? Can't remember. Antihistamine brain. Thanks, Beth. So get your pieces cut, ready to go. What kit was I doing, Lindy? I've got 4 ready to be uploaded, but I haven't done them yet because I've been studying. I will be putting the measurements below. I'll do that as soon as I get off here. I'll put the measurements below. But you should have had a pen, I'm telling you. Should have had a pen. Okay, so that's it. You need cardstock, chipboard. That's your base. Your base. You need something to cover your folder with. Oh, the steampunk one. Okay. Yeah, I think I've got a steampunk one ready to go. I've covered mine with coffee dyed and sprayed, inked, blah, 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 which I'll also cover in paper as well. This just gives you, it gives your hinges and your spines added strength. You don't need to do this. You can just use tape and a little bit of fabric on the corners. I just wanted mine to be really chunky, so that's why mine looks like this. I'm just doing management in food handling. I don't know why. I'm just wasting time at the moment because our Centrelink, which is like your welfare check every month. Not that I get anything because hubby earns too much, but you have to be on it so they can keep track of any miserable dollar that you have. So I'm doing a food handling course at the moment. Not that I will ever get a job in food handling because food handling management is what I'm doing. Because where I live, there's lots of jobs for qualified nurses and not much else. They call this the town of hatched, matched and dispatched retirement village. Brenda, I used to use the double-sided red line tape, but I've been making that system for about 10 years now, and it's probably the humidity here, but anything that has been made for over a year with any sort of tape, it doesn't matter how good it is, it dries out and gives way and it falls apart. So I don't use tape at all anymore unless I use tape and glue together. But if you want to use tape, you can use tape. I've just got in the habit of not using it because it just doesn't last here. Unfortunately. So you will need some tape to hold your spine and things together. Oh man, my words. Give me some words, people. To hold all this shit together, okay, you will need some tape. Now I am using paper tape. This is packaging tape. It's sticky. I also often use this gum tape, which is paper tape again with a fibre through it, and you just add water with a sponge and glue it on. It glues really well, like really well. It ain't coming up after you've put it on. You just has this gummed back, and it's a nice matte paper, not like some of like this has got a sheen to it, and some stuff is quite hard to stick to. I would like to buy a new mouth and brain right at this very moment. So you just add water to it, glue it down, and it ain't going anywhere. It glues really well. Great stuff. And that would be good for the colour of cardstock. It's just a little bit dark. So I'm going to use this one And I'll probably give it a sand before I glue anything over the top of it because it has that sheen on it. I also use cloth tape quite often. Oh no, words are gone out the door, especially as I said I've just taken an antihistamine to stop me sneezing because we've got this horrible wind at the moment and I think it's playing havoc with my mouth as well. I often use this paper tape to do that sticking together thing, but I don't want black in this. And I haven't got a wide one. I don't like this thin one. I used to have a wider one and I can't find it in stock anywhere at the moment. So I'm going with the paper tape. So you will need paper tape. You'll need some sort of tape to tape it together. You can use whatever tape you want to use. All right, I'll put that down. I am going to use the latch, this latch. No, it won't show. I just that sometimes I do have it showing. If I'm using black paper, I don't mind the hinges showing. I don't have to cover the whole thing up. But that cloth tape is not wide enough for my liking. I like a thicker tape to tape them together. So I'm using a latch for the closure. I'm using a book plate on the spine, on one of the spines. I'm also using some book corners throughout, just for decorations. You don't need to have any of this stuff. You will need brads. Some of the closures that I'm doing through this book are swing tab closures, and they use brads to do so. I'm also using eyelets as some tie closures throughout this book, so you will need some eyelets. As I said, if you don't want to use any of this stuff, you don't have to. Yeah, you can use that, Judy. You can use that if you, yep, absolutely use it. As I said, I'm just not using it because it's not wide enough for my liking. So we're going to eyelets and brads you will need if you're going to make the same as I am. I'm not going to tell you what you have to have. I've got a video on how to make these leather straps and things from the last steampunk album that I made. I did a video on how to make these, so you can use something like this as your closure, depending on what theme. Excuse me. They are gorgeous book corners. They are. You can use something like that held with magnets. You can use magnets on their own. You can use a ribbon, whatever you want to use. I'm just showing you what I'm using. So if you've got one of these or you want to order one of these before next week, go ahead and order those. You will need a bone folder, a scoreboard, something to cut your stuff with, and a paper kit to make it pretty. That is about all you're going to need to play along. So hopefully you will play along and ask me lots of questions so I get my brain to work. Excuse me. What else do we need? We've got tape. We've got, I think that's it. A pencil, an eraser, a pair of scissors, the normal tools that you use. Whatever ink you're using to match your kit. I am actually going to use, I'm still tossing up whether to use my Shaman kit or my Boho kit. I still haven't made up my mind. It will be one of those two. One of those two. So does anybody have any more questions? Because that's it. I just wanted to make this quite short just to give you a list of stuff that I'm using. Excuse me. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I hope this is only hay fever. Sorry. So yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to do was give you a quick rundown, and it'll be the same time next Wednesday. We'll start the book. As I said, I'm going to take it slow. This is not going to be a fast-paced tuition. It's going to be a make along with me, and I'm going to take it slow. Hopefully someone will come on stage with me and field any questions in case I miss them. But other than that, I hope to see you next week. Hello. Excuse me, I'm going to have to cough. Hi, Jacqueline. We're just about to finish up here because I'm starting to have a sneeze attack from this hay fever. I will get off here and write down everything that you need, measurements. I think that's it. I don't think we need anything else. I'll do a list down below of what I've said in here roughly, and I will see you all next week for the start of making this book, and tomorrow night for the Use It or Lose It. Use It or Lose It tomorrow is T from Not Afraid of Colour. So she's coming on tomorrow night. Thanks. It's just, as I said, it's just hay fever. I'm sure we've got a cyclone building north of us. It's going to hit they reckon about 400 kilometres up the coast from us, but we will get some backlash from that. Thank you. All right, I'm going to get off here and go and cough my guts out, I think. And I will see you all. If you're not going to come tomorrow, I hope to see you next week. So tomorrow night for the Use It or Lose It. Next week on Use It or Lose It is going to be epic. So you can't miss that one. It's a surprise guest. And that's all I'm going to say. So bye for now. Yes, see you tomorrow. Bye.